Greetings, these are the episodes. My name is Nazar STEPANYUK, and here's what's making the headlines this week. First to attack. How tank crew of the 1st Northern Tank Brigade are fighting in the southern Ukraine. Order number 73. How will journalists interact with the military now? From love story artists to war story photographers. The opening of the Liberovsk wartime photo exhibition. We've heard untruth all our lives. Why isn't St. Sophia's Cathedral the oldest one in Ukraine? What's the deal with the Podil's Ferris wheel? Where did it come from? And what do Kyiv residents think of it? A massive dam break has occurred in the Russian city of Orsk, Orenburg Oblast. According to Russian authorities, the situation there is critical, and a state of emergency has been declared in the region. Approximately 4,000 households have been damaged, along with the region's main oil refinery, the Orsk-Nefteorsk-Synthos. Local authorities have not eliminated the consequences of the breach. Russians have rallied for help from Putin, but to no avail. We are the 1st Tank Brigade. We are the first to strike. Tank crew of the 1st Siverska Tank Brigade are men of steel who are not afraid to work on direct orders a mere kilometer away from the enemy. Our journalist Viktoria Kravchuk showed the brigade's work in the south of Ukraine.
We are with those tankers who are not afraid to go straight to work on direction fire when your tank really goes straight and can really hit enemy targets at a distance even from 400 meters to 1 kilometer.
We are in a Soviet-made T-72 tank, which is equipped with a 125 mm smoothbore gun that is loaded with 3 types of projectiles. They are a projectile and a charge. Let me show you. Here it is being loaded. Depending on the target, the type of projectile is selected and loaded into this gun, and the gunner operator fires the shot. The task of this crew is to destroy our enemy, to destroy him as much as possible by all means, with the gun, machine guns. If we have reached the tank, our tank has reached the tank, it is looking for some big targets, the same enemy tanks, the same armored personnel carriers, BMPs, even some fortifications, dugouts. The gun is so powerful that it makes no sense to use it for something other than big targets.
They are really very brave people who modestly say that this is their job and they do not see it as something special and scary because this work needs to be done. It's necessary to do it for us and the country to live and exist in peace in the future.
And to return home unharmed.
Viktoria Kravchuk, Maksym Kuropatenko, special for episodes.
A sudden drone strike at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The International Atomic Energy Agency states that there was a drone detonation at the occupied Zaporizhzhia NPP. The agency, however, has not stated the origin of the drone. Meanwhile, Ukraine's main Directorate of Intelligence puts the blame on Russian forces, staging false flag operations to discredit Ukraine internationally. Order number 73, issued by the Commander-in-Chief of Ukraine's Armed Forces, was recently updated. The order regulates interactions between the military and the mass media. Further details of the changes are explained by our journalists Anastasia Kokalko and Oleh Tymoshenko.
Order 73 regarding the interactions between journalists and the military personnel has now been updated in accordance with the media law. Presumably, access to the front lines will now be easier to obtain. For this purpose, the frontline zones are divided into red and yellow based on the level of danger. Previously, gaining access to the red zone was problematic, if at all possible. However, journalists are somewhat critical of these amendments. For instance, Francis, a journalist for the Kyiv Independent, often works on the front line. He assures that these changes are merely a formality.
As for the different colored zones, I think most journalists will say that, especially in eastern Ukraine, they're not really implemented. Things are a lot stricter in southern Ukraine, around Kherson, for example. But in Donetsk Oblast and Kharkiv Oblast, it's usually very informal. So you don't really notice that you're going from a yellow zone to a red zone or a green zone to a yellow zone. You just drive, and sometimes they let you through. If there's a reason not to let you through, maybe they don't, but it all depends on basically what happens on the ground.
The other thing changed is the accreditation given by the armed forces. Its validity period is now 12 months instead of the 6. Now it can also be obtained by bloggers registered as subjects in a field of online media. The changes were after several journalists complained after censorship and selective access to the red zones at the front line. Colleagues stated that there is a list of exceptional journalists from the list of selected media, and only they have preferential access to those zones. Anastasia Kokalko, Oleh Tymoshenko, 4 episodes.
Collision Line. An exhibition of Ukrainian war photography was presented at Kyiv's National Expo Center. Our reporter, Seredyuk, visited the exposition and reports on it.
The Line of Contact is a project exhibition of works by Ukrainian photographers Konstantin and Vlada Liberov. This exhibition, which takes part in 4th Pavilion of the National Complex Expo Center of Ukraine, brings together the most powerful documentary photographs. They were taken during the full-scale Russian invasion of Ukraine. The photos include memories of various events of the war, the Russian occupation of Kyiv region, the battles for Siversky Donetsk and Lysychansk, the battle for Bakhmut and Kharkiv region, and the deoccupation of Kherson city. The main idea of the exhibition is to remind Kyiv citizens which returned to peaceful existence of the events of the past 2 years, as well as the fact that right now battles for Ukraine's independence are taking place in the south and east of our country.
The exhibition raises important issues at the moment because many people are distracted, forgetting that there is a war in the country and this war has been going on for 10 years and we should not forget about it. I was very impressed by a whole with the video materials about how these shots were filmed.
Moreover, the entrance of the exhibition is not free. You can visit it only by donating at least 100 hryvnias for the fund for the purchase of 1,000 FPV drones for Ukrainian military. You can also buy the rights for some photos for 50,000 hryvnias. This exhibition will run from April 5th to April 21st. Seredyuk, Yegor Zaks, 4 episodes.
Peter Pellegrini was victorious in the second round of Slovakia's presidential elections, with 53% of the votes cast in his favor. An ally of current Premier Robert Fico, the new president seems likely to follow the Premier's anti-Ukrainian and Eurosceptical political line. The opposition fears that Pellegrini's ascent to the presidency marks the end of Slovakia's pro-Western alignment. Religion can be revealing about the history and culture of any country. Churches and temples are living evidence of a range of historical events. We all know about Kievan Rus' original Desetina Church, or Church of the Tithe in translation, and that Ukrainians consider the St. Sophia's Cathedral of Kiev as their main and oldest church. We will find out the accuracy of these beliefs from our reporter Maria Salii.
In the historical city center of Chernihiv, you can see not only famous 12 guns, but also the oldest cathedral in Ukraine after Desetina Church. Due to the small amount of attention, the more popular cathedral is the Sophia-Kievsky Cathedral in Kyiv instead of Spaso-Preobrazhensky Cathedral in Chernihiv. The founder of the Spaso-Preobrazhensky Cathedral was Prince Mstislav Volodymyrovich, brother of Yaroslav Mudry. The building demonstrates the greatness of the Chernihiv Principality. This cathedral is mistakenly not considered the oldest in Kievan Rus. Candidate of historical science Vadim Boyko dispels the myth.
Yes, this temple is the most ancient temple of Kievan Rus. It is even older than Sophia of Kiev, which was founded in 1037th year and this temple was founded in 36th year, many say that it is not so. Why? Very simply, the first church service took place in the 36th year, at the grave of the then Chernihiv prince Mstislav Chernichivsky. And, as historical documents say, when the first church service was held, that was the year of the foundation of the church, so that it is the most ancient building of Kiev-Rus.
At the moment, the cathedral is closed because the inspection of the technical condition of the object continues. Maria Salii for episodes.
The Pechersk District Court of Kiev has imposed the pre-trial detention of a State Protection Department officer suspected of killing a teenager at a funicular station in the capital. At the request of the defense, the judge decided to hold the hearing in camera. The tragic death of the teenager at the funicular occurred on Sunday after an inebriated man, according to eyewitnesses, began to harass and conflict with a group of high school students. While leaving the funicular car, he attacked one of the teenagers. The student hit his head on a glass enclosure and received a fatal cut to his neck. Where can you enjoy a bird's-eye view of Kyiv? How Kontraktova Square's Ferris wheel appeared in the Podil, and what do Kyiv residents really think about it? All of this and more in a report by Yulia Prybytko.
As of 2023, the observation wheel on Podil at Kontraktova Square is the newest observation wheel in Kyiv. It was brought from Paris and installed in December 2017, just in time for the Christmas market. Initially planned to operate just for a few weeks, it still stands in this square, as you can see behind me. Therefore, we decided to ask people on Podil what they think about this wheel.
Well, we are already accustomed to it, but it was more inspiring when there were New Year's holidays here before the war, and it fit in with the fair theme. It was atmospheric, and now it's just some construction. But children like it, mine, for example.
It would be appropriate if it were in use, or if it served some special purpose. But as it is, it just stands there like, look at our fancy wheel. This is the center of Podil. Everyone knows Podil because of the big wheel. And why is it standing here? Just to show in pictures that this is the center of Podil.
Well, I think it just, it changes the landmark of the area. Yeah, it just brings something about, it changes the landmark of the area, just brings that. Yeah, so it's a beautiful view. I think it's a beautiful view, really. I really think so. I really think so, yeah.
If we're talking about architecture, yes, it probably doesn't fit in well with this architectural ensemble. But the people of Kyiv are already used to it. It's become a symbol.
We need money to dismantle it. Do you know what it would be better to spend money on? This historical building next to it. The unfinished building, which has been standing here for so many years, just covered with an awning and falling apart. Look, we have this wheel, so let it stand. People ride on it. It's cool. Moreover, it lights up in the evening. You can walk, take a stroll here, and in one moment, look, the wheel lights up.
No one knows for sure how long this Podil Ferris wheel will remain here. But as people say, there is nothing more permanent than temporary. Anastasia Krutii and Yulia Prybytko for episodes.
On the 8th of April, the sun went dark for the residents of North America. A total solar eclipse, lasting approximately 4 minutes, was not seen by the rest of the world. However, on that day, Ukrainians could enjoy the grand event through online streams. The next total solar eclipse is expected to occur in August of 2026. That'll be all for this week. This has been Nazar STEPANYUK and the rest of the episode's crew. Next, we will summarize the main news of the week. Slava Ukraini! Russia is flooding. A dam has burst in Orsk. The water has already reached Orenburg, the administrative center of the region. An explosion occurred at the Zaporizhzhia NPP. A drone of unspecified origin was found on the NPP's territory. Russia blames Ukraine, while Ukraine denies its involvement. An exhibition by war correspondents Konstantin and Vlada Liberov opened in Kyiv. Collision Line includes a collection of 150 documentary photographs and videos taken by the Liberov couple over the past 2 years in the frontline cities and on the front line itself. Death in a cable car. The suspect in the murder of a teenager will be detained for 2 months in custody without the right of release on bail. A total solar eclipse took place in North America. The natural phenomena was visible in Mexico, the United States, and Canada.